What's going on, everybody? Make sure I have a sound. What's going on, everybody? Seems like it's a little loud. Let me just turn it down a little bit. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty good. Guys, I'm glad to be back. YouTube. I'm actually doing a little trading here on Forex.com. I'm not affiliated with them right now, but you can go to Forex.com, create an account if you want. Right now, I just entered a trade right now. It's been going up. I'm in the 4-hour chart here. I got a couple of indicators. I just enter, so you always enter in a negative. So it's down 15 cents right now. It's not much. It's only 5,000 contracts there. The overall trend is up. And just to give you a little quick rundown, I got a couple indicators here. I have the Ichimoku Cloud, the Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku Cloud, and I have a moving average. If I get those, if I start taking these away, I can explain a little bit more. So that's just the chart right there. It's a blank chart. As you can see, we've been trending up last couple days. Actually, since today, well, lately we've been trending downwards, but I mean the overall trend is up, right? So maybe it will be like a double top right here, head and shoulder pattern. Maybe from here right here it'll drop down. Who knows? We'll see. Support and resistance, right? But what I like to use are these indicators. You just come up here to the indicator. And these charts are from TradingView, so you can do the same thing on TradingView if you want. I like to look for Bollinger Bands. I just type BB and Bollinger Bands. You just click on it. As you can see, it'll bring up these Bollinger Bands here, which is set completely different. Actually, you know what? I guess I can set these up all over again real quick in this video just to show you how I use it, right? So, and I can explain a little bit to you what I learned so far. I think this strategy will help many people out there. So let's put the indicators back on. Once again, this is the 4-hour chart, and you can go to the daily too to see the overall trend. As you can see, the last couple of days we've been going up and down, but mostly up. So we're in an uptrend right now. Maybe reach this level. We'll see. But anyways, I'll go back to the 4-hour just to show you. So here we are. Let me add those indicators. So I like to put the Bollinger Bands, and this is what they look like. Let me fix them how I like them. Watching a few videos out there. On the inputs, I like to put the 200 with the number 2 there on the bottom. And you can see it expands everything. All it means is that this line here in the middle is a 200 moving average. And then the outer bands are kind of like support and resistance in a way. You can Google or YouTube some more videos on that, all right? But let me change it to how I like it. I like to put the median line black with almost 100%, maybe in the middle. I go, that's too much. I go 2. All right, so I have, this is the 200 moving average in the center. Okay. All right, let me go back here in the little gearbox. The upper band, I like to put it green. Once again, almost 100. You can see this upper band now, it's green, which means, actually, I'm sorry, that's a red. Okay, and what it means is that when price comes up here, most of the time it's going to go down. All right, not all the time, but most of the time, as you can see, it reached a point up here where eventually the market has to turn back a little bit. There are occasions where, as you can see right here, perfect example, it did come up, it came back down a little bit, but then we're above the 200, right? So that means we were still up in an uptrend. So this doesn't necessarily, every time it reaches up, you have to sell. You have to keep an eye on it. Okay? But most of the time, it hits this level up here. And then eventually, when the candle comes back in, usually it goes down for a little bit. I mean, not all the time, right? Nothing's guaranteed. This is, guys, I'm making this video just for entertainment, right? Education purpose. As you can see, it went up, came back down. Now we're up. We're coming up to it again. It could go. I mean, it could continue to go up. I'm up 25 cents right now. Well, it's gonna go up and down eventually. We'll see here in a second. But let me continue here with the Bollinger Bands. The lower band, I like to have it green. Okay, almost 100. Okay, so this is how I like to set up the Bollinger Bands. I do get it's your preference. I go here to the plots background and I take that completely off. Okay, so this is how I like to use the Bollinger Bands. All right, and I'll explain to you a little strategy I got going on here. I wish I would have seen this when it was down here. I would have had tons of pips all the way up here. But it's still going to go up for a little bit maybe. Or who knows, maybe it'll tank back down. We'll see. 5,000 contracts is not a lot, so I'm not risking a lot. I'm only risking like 30 bucks maybe. Actually, I have a stop loss here where I think I'm only risking like $12, something like that. But I mean, it ain't much. I'm just building my account to a point where I can trade higher numbers, right? But plus Forex.com, it's only like, I think 30% leverage. It's not a lot of leverage. So you won't, unless if you bet a lot of contracts, and they'll tell you if you have enough money in your account or not to. I mean, they're not, you can lose your money, right? But anyways, let me just continue. I'm talking too much. I go back to indicators, and once again, I'm going to put the next indicator is the Ichimoku Cloud. All right. And let me come up here to the Bollinger Bands, and I'm going to press the little eye icon. Now, this is the Ichimoku Cloud, right? You should do more research on this indicator. It's an awesome indicator. It looks, a lot of people are going to be like, what are all these lines? I don't use all these lines. I just like to use the cloud just for confirmation in a way, to see where the trend might be heading. So the Ichimoku Cloud, I come here to the gearbox, and I'm going to show you. I get the inputs. I leave them just the way they are. All right, I don't change anything. The style, I get rid of the conversion line, the baseline, the lagging line, and I like to change my lines around. You know me. Let's see here. I just like to darken them up a little bit. Okay, and I like to make them a little wider. That's all. Okay, and that looks pretty good. I mean, I don't have to change much. Basically, when price goes underneath the cloud, it's gonna go down, right? And then eventually, these clouds are like magnets, and so are the moving averages. Price will get away from them, but eventually it will attract back to them. All right, so remember these clouds like magnets. That's the way I kind of like been looking at it. So once price gets so far away from it, eventually it's got to come back to it at some point. Okay, right now I'm at 50 cents. All you got to do is click a button, right? Click a button and you can make some money if you know where it's going. Once again, the cloud is set up 26 candles in front. So kind of like giving you the future, even though as you can see, cloud's starting to come down a little bit. That could be a sign that this is going to be going down in a while, or who knows, right? But anyways, let me continue. I'll talk about that more later. But once again, the clouds are like magnets. They tell you the future of where price might be going. All right. Once again, we've been trending up for a while. So it's just a matter of being patient. Sometimes trades go against you. But if you are in the overall trend, and if you don't risk too much, you can just let it ride for a while, right? I mean, you risk a little bit of money, and you can make some money in the long haul. I mean, the more you risk, the more dangerous it gets, margin-wise, because you can get liquidated. I mean, you lose your money. But if you do small quantities and just ride the trends, whenever there's trends, you can make some money, all right? So a little bit is better than nothing, right? And this is just another way that you can make a little bit of money. So That's why the Forex market is very, very, very popular. Now, once again, this is the euro against the dollar. The euro dollar, right? The Europe dollar against the United States dollar. All right. Um, so that's the way I like to see my clouds. And then when I combine it with the Bollinger Bands, this is what I get, right? This is what I get. Um, Once again, I can see the price came way down here out of the bands. Eventually, it's got to come back in, and it actually looks like a shark fin. They call this shark out of the water. Same thing on the top. Whenever you see those, it looks like a shark fin. So pretty much it's changing direction. All right, you're going in for the kill, right? And then eventually came back down, did another one. All right, and there's one more I like to use. I'm going to go back to indicators, and I'm going to put moving average, and I'm going to look for triple just to have them, but I don't use all of them, okay? The ones I use, I'm going to change this one to blue. Just pick any color you want, okay? I'll just pick that one. I'm going to get rid of the second one, and then this plot 3. You really don't need it, but I'm going to put it anyways. I'm going to change it to red. Okay. And I mean, I can see them, right? And then on the inputs, the top one is going to be the 10. And then this bottom one is going to be the 30. All right. And that's how I like to see it. This is the chart I like to see. And if I come here to the moving averages, actually, let me show you something that I pretty much learned from doing research. If I get rid of the 30, okay, and just keep the 10, and I think these are simple moving averages. Let me see. It just says moving average. So I think it's a simple moving average. Once again, like I said earlier, these moving averages, just like the clouds, are magnets. Okay, I like to say they're magnets because they always attract price back to it. Okay, and I mean, you can do the same. I mean, just to give an example, if we use this second one here, and the second one, we change it to 100. That means 100 candle moving average, right? Once again, price comes to it, it will either respect it, meaning that it will bounce back down, it'll get rejected, or it will go past it, right? Sometimes it comes back to it. Once again, it's like a magnet. It always comes back to the line. So just, you have to be patient and see where the trend is going. Like this one here, the 100 moving average, it's good for trend direction also, like the 200, the 60, because if it's underneath 100 candle moving average, 100-day moving average, you know it's going on a bearish, right? It's going down. All you got to do is either wait for it to come back close to it, and once again enter a small trade, small quantity, and just ride it, right? And when you come in the right place, you could ride it for a while. Once again, you have to be patient. As you can see, it's been going up and down. I'm going to get out of the trade. Close the position at 45 cents. Not bad. Better than nothing, right? The trend is going up, but it could come down here. So that's why I wanted to explain about the moving averages. Price always cut, and that goes for any, it doesn't have to be just the Euro USD. It goes for anything, for cryptocurrencies and any market. It could be even in stocks. The moving average, it always comes back to the moving average, right? Because it's just moving averages. It's got to average at some point. It's got to, everything that goes up, it's got to come down at some point, right? So, but what I like to use the 10, which is this blue one, because price keeps close to it. It does get away, but eventually it comes back to it. Once again, it's a lot better for trends, right? I like to use this for trends because once it crosses over, you can see you can just follow the trend. It's a lot. I mean, you can follow the candles too. The candles are more rapid. I mean, it just depends on your eyes and what you're comfortable with. But pretty much this is the chart I use. And then also the 30, usually for what I notice on the higher time frame is that the 30, it always comes back, it retraces back to it, okay? So for example, the 10, it went over, it came back, and you can see it bounced off the 30. On the higher time frames, I like to use the 30 because most of the time it comes close to it or it bounces off the 30, okay? So I mean, all these are buying positions right here, buying position, another buying position, another buy-in, another buy-in, okay? It doesn't work all the time, but when it does and you're following the trend, I mean, you can make some serious bank, right? With this method. Let me see here. I don't know how to get, I'm still learning these charts, guys. But let me see here. But that's what I see so far. Right now we're going on an uptrend. In reality, this is all you really need right here. If you can see that price went underneath the 30, the red one, then you sell it, right? And then when it comes, like I said, it's a magnet. It will always come to it. It will either go past it or it will bounce back. If you see it starts bouncing back, this is a bullish candle. You can like enter here, right? Or enter anywhere. I mean, down here, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be sideways for a while, but then eventually it went down, right? And if you can see here, I mean, if you were to enter this trade here, to at least somewhere here, right, where you notice that you had a little bit of a retracement, you're looking at 140. What is that? 149 pips, right? So if you're doing, for example, 10,000 contracts, it's $1 a pip, depending on your pips. That's $149 right there for what is it? Let's say you enter here, and you came here for 4 days work. You know, just click a button, you made 146 bucks, right? So I mean, that's the beauty about Forex. You don't have to stare at the charts all day long. You can actually create an account with TradingView. I will put a link in the description for TradingView, and you can set alerts where once price goes underneath the 30, it'll give you a signal where you can just, you know, even if you were to sell up here or up here somewhere or even down, it doesn't matter. Anywhere in here, I mean, you know, it's underneath the 30. Eventually, it's going to get away so far that it's got to come back, right? Same thing here. It's got to come back to it. So it went sideways for 1 or 2 days here, whatever it is, from about a day and something, and then it went back down, right? And then eventually come back up. Because these are like magnets, they're averages. So it's going to average at some point. It's going to go back to the average. It's going to go back to just being zero, or it's going to go beyond, right? That's the way I like to view it. I mean, for trading, this is all you really need right here. The 10 and the 30 simple moving average. That's all you need for swing traders, okay? A swing trader is somebody who just will get on a trade and just let that trade ride for a while, right? Another thing you can do, what I see people do, is crossovers, where when the 10 crosses the 30, just put a sell signal, right? But your sell signal is way down here. It's still good, but eventually for half a day it went down on you, but then it retraced back. And then right here you would have been in the negatives, right? Because price always comes back to those lines again. So every time there's a crossover, just wait for the comeback or the retracement back to the actual moving average. And then if it respects that, then you could have entered here, a sell trade right here. Or here, right? I mean, you would have been a little bit in the negative. If it would have went up higher, then, I mean, everything is risk management, guys. Don't risk more than what you can afford to lose. But basically, that's how these charts work. In my example, I like to use the Bollinger Band. I mean, this could be a nice setup right here also. Band, at some point, you can look for sells. And then when it reaches the bottom, when it comes back in, you can buy. once again, then you'll be here again. You wait for the retracement, right? But not every trade is going to be successful all the time. But if you keep an eye on these moving averages, then you can get out. I mean, you still, let's say it came back in here, you jump on this trade here, you would have made a good 50 pips, 60 pips. Even if it came down here, 45 pips, right? Let me get out. It's coming back. It's coming back this way, right? So that's just the way you do it, right? And then you just wait for crossovers or just be patient enough, because you can see at this point here, here, it just went sideways for a while, right? Where price just went up and down, until eventually it broke this box, and then it continued going down, right? So I mean, you could have easily, once you've seen this high, and then you've seen it bounce back to this double top, right? You would have kept an eye on it, or you could have said, okay, once it reaches this point, I'm gonna either look to buy or to sell, right? So if you notice that it didn't come out of the box, then you put on a sell, because it's still we're below the 200, right? So you just put on a sell, and then eventually it went down, right? It came down on the bottom of the box. That's another way you can view things. Here's another area where price just went sideways for a while, and it's easy to say, right? Because yeah, I mean, it happened already, right? It's like, it's kind of hard to tell what this future would be, but I mean, you can do the same thing right here, just to show you. Right now, it's been going sideways for a while here too, and we don't know what's coming next, right? Something like this, right? You can just keep an eye on this box. And actually, it started back here. See that's the top right there. It came to this level, it respected this level. It wanted to pull back down, and then it kind of like busted through. It came back in here, and it's just going sideways. It's trying to get out of this box, but not yet, right? Maybe it'll come up to this point, and then eventually it will come back down. We just have to keep an eye on it. This is the 4-hour chart, right? So that's something, setting levels and seeing the past to tell you what the future might bring. Let me get rid of some of these boxes. But I mean, if you need to draw boxes, sometimes they need to see that. I mean, I can see it, right? Because I've been watching the charts for a while and studying them. And it takes time, but you can see pretty much here, right? It hasn't been going anywhere for like 2 days. It went up a little bit, but it came back down. It's just been going sideways. So people that come in to trade, you're gonna lose trades because it's gonna go up and down, up and down. Oh, I'm losing money. Oh, I'm making money. No, I'm losing money. That's why I decided to get out of that trade right now, just to show you how I enter a quick trade. I made a little bit, not much, but you know, something's better than nothing. But you want to wait for these bullish candles, because once again, if I show you, for a while, price just went sideways here too, right? And it did like a fake out because it was just in this zone, came back to this low, double bottom, and then double top, or maybe hit a couple times, whatever, right? And then eventually it did like a little fake breakout because price came underneath. Let me zoom in just to show you. I mean, you can see it clear as day where the candle came down. There's a wick right here, right? And so if it would have closed down here, maybe it would have came down, right? But eventually it came back up with a bullish candle. It broke right through these levels, and it continued going up for a couple of days, right? Until we seen this, it's all over again. And that's what the market is from time to time. They say it's the bankers doing that. I don't know. I've been watching a few videos out there where they say all this, they're just accumulating orders, and they give you fake out, so you got to watch out for that. But if you can watch the overall trend, eventually this trend's going to end and it's going to come down, or it can continue going up. I see the 200 starting to curve up, so it might continue to go up. If we go to the daily, we'll see more. You want to go to the higher time frames to see where the trend is going, right? Where the basic, as you can see, we're going to a squeeze here, okay? Which it means that price is starting to consolidating here, right? Eventually, we see the 10 broke over the 200. So eventually, I think it's gonna come back down. It's gotta touch the 200 again. It has to, just like here. It went and it came back, touched it. I think it will come over. Eventually, it will come back down, hit it, and then eventually it will either take off to the top or it will come crashing down, right? So we'll see where that's gonna go. And if we go to the week, maybe it gives us more of a story. Because right now on the weekly chart, we're above, even though the 10 already crossed the 30. So it's going to be a little bit of a mess here, okay? It's going to be like this, where price is going to go up and down because these lines are just intertwined with each other and there's really no clear direction. Of course, this is a weekly, so it went up for a whole week, and I mean, it went up pretty good. But just to show you, there's not really a trend going on. When you see something like this would have been a great opportunity to buy as a swing trader, especially here. Once it clear all this box in here, this would have been a good area to buy. And I mean, even if you were gotten out here, that's 349 pips right there, right? If you would have went all the way up here to the top, you're looking at 524 in 35 days. So anyways, imagine, I mean, if you only doing $1 per pip, that's a good $524 just by clicking a button and just watching the money pile up, right? Of course, it sounds good, but once you start trading, emotions get to people, right? I like to do the swing trading, guys, because swing trading, you can let it ride for a while. A lot of people like to do scalping, which they come down to the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and put a big lot size and make their money quick in the market and be done in hour, 2 hours, and they can be done for a couple of days. They don't have to trade because they made some money. But once again, when you don't know what you're doing yet on scalping, you can lose your money faster than on a swing trade, because a swing trade, you're not putting a lot on the line, right? You're not betting a lot, but you just want it to accumulate with time, right? And when you start a trade, usually you go in the negative because you got to pay for your spread. So sometimes that's where people, even though they have the right direction, let me see here. They see that it's going in against them for a while, and then they're like, oh, I'm losing money, I'm just going to close my trade. And that's where people lose most of their money, with emotions, right? And right now, we're in a 15-minute, so it means each candle is 15 minutes of either pumping or dumping. And right now, as you can see, it's just been going sideways. Eventually, come up a little bit, but the overall trend has been going up. See if I zoom this out, it's just been going up slowly. It's just been going up. Guys, that's it for this video. Once again, I'll put the link for TradingView in the description. Pretty much, I just showed you everything that I pretty much learned here in the last couple of weeks, just watching videos on YouTube. There's a lot of good information out there. There's a lot of garbage too. But I think this is by far the best that I found for trading. Once again, the 4-hour, and more like a swing trade. As you can see, we reached this top, but it's curling. The Bollinger Bands are opening up. All right, so that's still an indication that it's going up. All right, every time they curl, they open up, usually it comes up. All right, until they start closing up and creating this bubble effect. That means that's when price was going down, and then eventually, when it as it started going up, it started curling, right? It started curling. So pretty much that's, there's a lot of good videos out there. Watch them. Hopefully you liked the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.